All right, so this should now be live, I think. You'll probably be able to hear me in 10 or 15 seconds. It's going to be great. Okay. Hello and welcome. We're back cooking with Baber. It's been, I don't know, what, 4 years? It's been quite the 4 years. Very excited to be doing this again. Normally, when I did this back during COVID, we would do like an hour-long, sometimes very ambitious multi-course lunch menu. Most of the time worked out pretty well. Today we're switching it up a little bit, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Joe Rosenthal, not quite sure exactly how to describe him, but let's say he's a guy I came across on Instagram who has spent a lot of time calling out inequity or just bad stuff going on in the food world. So that's kind of how I started following along with him. And he's actually published a whole bunch of really interesting articles about various meals that he likes to make. Steak is a great one. He's got how to pizza, which is what we're doing today. There's a hoagie roll recipe that I had really good success with recently for cheesesteaks or subs. And actually the how to carrot is really good as well. They're not quite recipes. They're more just long form articles telling you everything you need to know about the topic and then letting you kind of figure it out yourself from there, which is a pretty cool way to do it. So I really like it a lot. I have cooked pizza many times in the past, various forms. For a long time, I used like a little countertop electric Breville oven to make Neapolitan style pizzas that came out decently. I've really liked making Detroit style pizzas, pan pizzas, all kinds of pizzas, but today we're making New York style pizza, which is a pretty specific method. So far, normally I don't like doing sort of magic of television where, you know, I kind of swap stuff in and out that's already been done. This is a 3-day ferment for the dough, so I did have to make the dough a couple days ago, but we are going to make the dough today as well, just to kind of get a sense of what that looks like. It's actually, even though the article is incredibly long, the actual steps to take to make this pizza are pretty short. There is a little bit of, I'll call it specialty equipment that definitely helps a lot that we'll talk about as we go through. But let's get right into it. We don't have a tremendous amount of time. Trying to get this done in about an hour. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the dough. So let's see here if we can get this going. And I think I set it so that people can chat. Oh, hey, hi Nick. Yes, it is 2020. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's good. So we're gonna go ahead and measure out all of our wet and dry ingredients. Let's see if you guys can see this. Is that gonna work? Maybe, maybe not. Cool. I'm making 2 pizzas here. There's actually an entire dough calculator on the article that you can use for various sizes of pizza, various numbers of pizzas. It's fabulous. There's even an advanced mode, which I'm certainly not at yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the dry ingredients, pretty straightforward: flour, salt, yeast, sugar. Wet ingredients is going to be water, obviously, and then some sort of fat. I'm going to be using canola oil. You can use lard. You can use sort of other fats, I think. But again, all covered in the many thousand-word article. All right, so we need grams here, and we're going 476 grams of flour. So it's a pretty decent amount. I don't like pouring the flour out because I tend to make a gigantic mess. Which isn't to say that I'm not going to make a gigantic mess doing it this way, but almost there. 470. Oh, a little bit over. Perfect. 476. This is one of the things the article covers in great detail is the types of flour. At the end of the day, the recommendation is for an easy to find flour, King Arthur all-purpose flour. You don't want to use bread flour. You don't want to use other brands of all-purpose. They all have different, gosh, I'm going to completely blank on all the science and whatnot behind it, but read the article. It'll explain it all to you. I should probably switch this so I can see both of these things at the same time. So salt, I'm using Diamond Crystal Kosher salt, which again is what's recommended. That's what I use for everything. It's probably the best salt that you can get, or at least for me it is. I like the way that it is super consistent and is not too salty like Morton's, for example. Let's see, can you guys see that? Cool. So we are going 11.9 grams kosher salt. And I'm using a much more detailed scale here. This one is down to the 100th of a gram. You don't have to get it like perfect, but you know, it's nice to have the detail there. Oh, too much. Too little. And just right. Okay. Salt. Yeast, again, another very specific recommendation. So there's, I don't know if it's SAF or SAF, instant yeast. This is the red variety. You keep it in the freezer, just in a Ziploc bag, lasts for like a year or so. Works pretty great. 1.2 grams. I always feel like I want to put more yeast in, but that's certainly not right. But it doesn't feel like a ton of yeast. But I know nothing about baking, so I follow the recipe and it tells me what to do. Oh, I added too much. Let's scrape 1/10 of a gram out of there. Perfect. All right, 1.2 grams of yeast. Boom. And then last thing is sugar. So we're just going to use plain old white sugar, nothing fancy. And that is going to be 6.7 grams. 0.2 of a gram over. And yeah, 666. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Not quite, but that's fine. Here we go. Sugar in. Excellent. That's all the little nitty gritty stuff. We can put our little tiny gram scale or microgram, I don't know what it is, scale away. And then we're just gonna roughly combine these. I know, Ellie is in school right now, and in old Cooking with Babers, she was, well, it was COVID, but also she was not yet, I don't think, in daycare. So she would make regular appearances, as would our various four-legged friends. So I'm just giving this a little stir to combine here, and then we'll go ahead and get our oil and our water in. That's pretty well done. So for the water, usually what I'll do, it's like, I want to say it's 295 grams. Yeah. So like I've got a measuring cup here and I just put, you know, about 300 milliliters, and I'll know that I need just about all of it. But we'll go ahead and we'll put that in. I'm going to pour most of it till we get right to the end, and then kind of stop, check. I'm so hungry. I just went to the gym and I'm like dead. Cannot wait to eat this. I hope it's good. 290. Oh, not quite enough. 292. Let's splash more. And we went over. 298. Okay, well, 4 grams of water. Probably not going to hurt. 297. Close enough. Joe might be mad. I probably should have measured it separately. It's okay. All right, let's get our yeast back in the freezer. And then we need our oil. Let's see. It's 10 grams. I'm just going to kind of YOLO this, and we're going to hope I don't overdo it. 3, 4. Come on. I probably should be doing this on the other scale, but here we are. 6, 9, And maybe 10, maybe 10. Yeah, there we go. Okay, 10. Cool. Then, so there's two ways to make this. You can make it in a stand mixer, or if you have a really fancy like mixer with a breaker bar thing that's like made for dough, obviously use that, but you probably know way more about dough than I do, so you're probably not listening to this. Anyways, just gonna give this a quick, I'm obviously using a stand mixer because I'm lazy. I already worked out today. I don't need to do it again. But if you don't have a stand mixer or don't want to use it, you can just do this on a cutting board, knead it till it's nice and smooth. Can you guys see this? I have no idea. Let's see. Yeah, sure. So I'm just kind of like mixing this until it's going to be well combined. So beyond the dough, the only thing that I've done to prep for this is I've got a, I think it's a 3/8 inch pizza steel in my oven right now that's been preheating for like close to 2 hours, maybe a little longer. You definitely need to, when I made the hoagies, I learned the hard way that when the recipe says to preheat it for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, that is legit. Like you cannot get away with doing it for 30 minutes. It is not going to put enough heat into the steel, and much of the heat from this, the steel is that's actually going to be cooking the pizza. We're going to be doing a little bit of a trick with a broiler to cook the top of the pizza, but the bottom, my understanding, is for the most part getting cooked by the steel. Cool. So that's like pretty well put together now. So we're going to transfer this, make sure I get all the dough, because this is measured pretty much to the gram for two 400-gram pizzas. So we want to make sure we have every single scrap in there. So we got our dough hook. We're going to transfer this here. And hopefully the audio for this is not incredibly annoying. If it is, hopefully someone will tell me. But we're going to just let that go on the lowest possible setting when it's plugged in, of course. Let's see if we can get this view here. And then, cool. Well, maybe you guys can hear that. Maybe it's really annoying. Hopefully it's not. If it is, we'll move it a little bit farther away and let it do its thing. We'll go ahead and set a timer here for like 5 to 7 minutes. Do 5 just to be safe, and we'll let it go on. So while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and shred some cheese. One of the other areas of the article that's super detailed is what cheese is best. You obviously, well, not obviously, you certainly want to be using like an aged mozzarella. The best one I could find for this pizza was this Calabro whole milk mozzarella. The aged mozzarellas are going to be much firmer, right? So this is not like a soft, fresh mozzarella. This is, kind of a harder cheese. Like you might actually find it in like the deli case, and actually, rather than having them slice, thin slices of cheese for you, you can just have them chop a huge block off. This part actually is kind of annoying. Like the cheeses that were recommended are pretty difficult to find. I think it was like Grande was one brand that makes like a very popular, delicious pizza cheese, and then there were a couple others as well. The other thing that was a little bit challenging was finding the right tomatoes. So I got as close as I could. This Bianco di Napoli makes a rustic crushed tomato that I believe was like the most recommended. This is their crushed tomatoes. So I think it's slightly different, maybe not exactly the same, but we're going to use it. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. That we were going to blend up a little bit just because we want it to be a little bit smoother than the chunks, and maybe add some salt and a little oregano. But for now, we're going to go ahead and shred the cheese. Normally, I would do this in my food processor because I'm really lazy and I absolutely hate shredding cheese by hand. But we're going to give it a try on this grater because, again, one of the recommendations was rather than using like the big holes, was to use like kind of the slicey blade holes. So we're gonna give that a whirl, and you can kind of see the dough is starting to like, it's been a cohesive ball, but like it's just gonna get smoother as it needs more. Maybe I'll be able to open this cheese. Cool. All right, so you can't really see this. It's kind of hidden. Whatever. Do our best here. Again, I hate shredding cheese. I always bang my knuckles. I always cut myself. This isn't even actually shredding the way that I want, so we're gonna call an audible and switch to this side. This looks much better now. Yeah, I was worried that side was gonna be a little bit too small. We don't actually need, certainly not all this cheese. We'll probably use half of it for 2 pizzas. But I'll shred as much as I am willing to endure here. Again, I highly recommend, if you have a food processor that has a grater attachment, it's like the easiest way to shred a bunch of cheese. You just throw it in there and it's instantly done and you don't have to think about it. All right, so that hopefully should be plenty of cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this off to the side. I did just pull it out of the fridge, so I'm gonna let it, you know, hang out a little bit. The oven is gonna be so hot that it's not gonna totally matter, but again, the article does suggest pulling, especially like meats and whatever else, so the pepperoni and stuff, like they're gonna come up to temperature pretty quickly. But trying to do it by the book here, trying to give it a shot. Sure, it's gonna be good. All right, so we'll do a little bit of cleanup while we wait for that to finish. We got another minute or so. I do need the flour still, but I don't need the sugar. While that's going, we're gonna go ahead and do our tomatoes. So I'm gonna open up this can. I haven't actually tried these tomatoes, but they look quite nice. Oh, there's no recycling bag. Okay. Quick intermission. Okay. So, we're not gonna blend this in like a food processor, or actually this is pretty smooth, although I guess there's some chunks. Okay. All right, and we're certainly not going to cook this or add sugar or do anything else to make it more like a pasta sauce than a pizza sauce. I think it's pretty clear that traditional New York pizza sauce is raw until it goes in the oven. So again, I don't know why I'm adding the oregano before I'm blending it. That's probably a mistake. It's already in there. Gonna add a decent amount of salt. This is like a hearty pinch. Certainly did not see that, but like you can kind of see how much I just added there. I'm gonna add a little bit more and we'll taste it. We're also gonna salt the cheese after the cheese goes on. The other really fun, exciting thing is I realized that my pizza peel was far too small for the size pizza that I'm gonna be making today. And I ordered a pizza peel that is an appropriate size. However, it's out for delivery right now. So I guess there's a chance that it will show up while I'm filming this and I will miraculously have the right size peel. But if not, I'm going to be using a random piece of wood that I found in the basement. This is going to be loud. Apologies in advance. All right, and this is done, so we'll cut that off. This is now looking quite nice. Don't want to go too crazy. You don't want to like add too much air to it or anything like that. All right. Always got to clean as you go. I hate leaving equipment like this dirty because it just gets really gross and makes it way harder to clean. So we don't need this again. So that is now good. We'll give our sauce a taste here. I could use a little bit more salt. Cool. I'm getting some messages that the audio is seeming okay. So that is good news. I'm gonna use my fancy spoon. Yeah. This is a fancy spoon. I like this spoon. I'm getting more text. I can't actually read my text because my phone is doing the filming here, but that's cool. Okay, that's delicious. All right, sauce is done. The dough is now done for this stage. So we'll just go ahead and finish this up. Actually, we can't finish this up yet. We've got to put this off and let it rest for a little while. So we'll do, I know my cutting board is in sad shape. I'm ashamed that I did not maintain it better in advance of this, but alas. So what we're gonna do is make sure we get all the dough off of here. We get all this dough out of there, put it on a cutting board, wash that in a minute. We're just gonna get this. These doughs that have the fat in them are so nice to work with. It's just so soft. It's really, oh, this is now, it's now in pit frame. All right, cool. So we're just kneading this just a little bit just to make sure it's all nice and looking good. We don't really need to do much else with it, but put it on a cutting board. And what time is it? Oh gosh, we're gonna go a little bit over an hour because that needs to sit for 45 minutes-ish before we portion it. So maybe we'll cheat a little bit and do it just slightly shy of that. But that is now, we will remove this mixer from the area so we have a little bit more space. Then these things. Let's see. All right, so now I think we might as well make pizza because that's what we're here for. So the first step of this I actually did a little while ago, which was to basically take it out of the fridge. Now, it's supposed to be, I want to say something like 3 hours in advance, but I'm really bad at math and I should have made the dough on Tuesday for today, but I made it on Wednesday. So in addition to my kitchen being a little bit cold normally, that added some time. And then also having that one less day of fermentation added a little bit more time. So I took this out like 4-ish hours ago. And I moved it from the original proofing containers that it was in, which are these guys. These are pretty cool. I got these from like, what is it, Webstaurant store or whatever. They're pretty cheap. Great for dough. I used it for the hoagies as well. This is what they were in, which was like lightly oiled. And I kept them in the fridge. This morning when I took them out, I moved them to another lightly oiled container just to make it a little bit easier to get them out of there right now. And then the first step in that process is to just drop it into some flour. So I don't have a dedicated container for that that's big enough. So like I don't think I could drop the flour in or the dough into this one without deforming it. And the whole point at this point in the process is not letting the dough deform. So this is what we're working with right now. Really beautiful, like pretty close to perfectly round. And hopefully we can get this out of here without doing too much damage to it. I don't know which one of these I should use. We'll try this one. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to just like try to break the edge free. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is kind of hard to do. So we're going to break the edge free and then we're just going to try to drop it. Hopefully it comes out. Maybe. Hello, pizza. Oh yeah. Oh, there it goes. Nice. All right. So the part that was touching the metal is going to be the underside of the pizza. So now we've flipped it upside down. We're just going to take it, flip it back over, and then, you know what? We're just going to use some of the flour in here as our bench flour. All right. So hopefully I've now kind of deformed it slightly, but we'll get it back into shape. It'll be fine. All right. So one of the big things is once we start stretching this, or really once we pick it up, we're not going to want to put it back down because we don't want all this extra flour going into the oven. So I've got my pizza peel here. And as you can see, this is a traditional, normal, definitely not like a reading thing pizza peel. I am going to look outside and see if I got a magical USPS delivery at the last second. And we did not. So, very good. Excellent. This is what we're rolling with. So, we do need to prep it. And the way we're going to do that is just by putting a little bit of semolina flour on it. Semolina is a little bit larger, chunkier. Like basically it's like if you ever played, what is it called? Not skee ball. Like that thing that bars have where you like slide the little pucks. I don't know. It's basically the same as that stuff. So it basically lets the dough like slide around, and it's not going to be nearly as terrible as just like, you know, regular flour. So essentially 3 phases here. First is poking. Second is kind of enlarging or stretching, and then the third is the final like full shaping that we're going to do in the air. So we're just going to use our fingertips here, and we want to make sure not to push down on the edge. This is where we're making our nice, beautiful crust. And then we can do the center. And definitely some air bubbles in here, which is, I think, a good thing. That means the yeast did its thing. Again, like you don't need to leave like a humongous crust, but you know, nice little. This looks great. I'm so happy right now. All right, so that's probably pretty good. I'm feeling pretty happy about that. So now we're basically just going to like be stretching the pizza. And I think it said like 4 full revolutions was about right. And I've done some number of them. I don't know, maybe 2 now. I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, it's hot, sorry. All right. I think that's looking pretty good for, oh no, I put a little dent in the crust. Ah, for shame. All right, so now this is the last stage. So we're gonna pick it up and we're gonna put it over our knuckles, and we're just gonna kind of let gravity do the work for us here. So again, trying not to mess up the crust as much as possible. And then we're gonna put it right on to here. Man, that looks great. I'm so happy right now. All right, we are going to not just stick that right there. We're gonna set it on here instead. Give that a little shimmy. Okay, the pizza moves. That's what we want. And then that's about, yeah, it's 16 inches-ish. We're gonna stretch it just a little smidgen more. Cool, that looks great. Awesome. So now we gotta move a little bit quickly because we don't wanna leave it on our traditional peel here for too long, because I am a little bit worried about this. And we don't want to, and I've made a critical mistake here in saucing the middle of the pizza too much, because the middle of the pizza tends to be the thinnest. And you don't want, the sauce is going to migrate there anyways. And so you want to kind of not sauce it too much. And I think that's probably good sauce-wise. You don't want to go too crazy with it. And you also want to keep it off the edge, which I think I've done mostly successfully here. Great. All right, cheese time. So that's probably enough cheese. We'll see. Again, you kind of want to use a little bit less cheese than you maybe are used to. I'm probably already putting too much cheese on here. Let's say that's good. And we have another pizza as well, so we can kind of see. So we'll give it another little shimmy. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. So I haven't really figured out how I want to film this. We're we're gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna try to do one of these and just stick this here. Yeah, that's like perfect. It's definitely straight and even. There's more semolina on this side, so all right, here we go. Oh my God, perfect. Hey, it worked. All right, so now we're gonna start a timer. Hey Google, start a timer for 2.5 minutes. So we're gonna let that go for 2.5 minutes. We're gonna rotate it. Then we're going to turn on the broiler. And if everything went well, we are maybe gonna have pizza. It's shuffleboard. Thank you, Jeffrey. It's working. I think it's working. I don't know. Da, 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 da. This is fun. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. Oh man. And now I'm gonna have 2 more doughs in 3 days for more pizzas. What a time to be alive. It's definitely not gonna be possible to like see the pizza in there. So, like I said, so there's like a 3/8 inch steel square that's like yay big. That's been again preheating at 550 for like 2.5, 3 hours now. I have like a little like laser temperature reader gun thing, and it was reading at 500 a little while ago. So it's definitely up there. I think my oven is a little bit cool, especially at higher temperatures. So I just put it at the highest it could possibly go, and we're hoping for the best. So yeah, I need to eat this pizza. I'm so hungry. Oh, I do need a pizza cutter. And I'm doing 2 plain cheese pizzas today. Again, the article goes into great detail about what toppings are and are not appropriate, what pepperonis are the best. You know, there's lots of, you know, suggestions for white pizzas, for calzones. You know, the world's your oyster. Do what you want. It's all good. I almost got some ricotta. I do love a good white pizza. One thing it said that was interesting was if you're making a white pizza and it doesn't have any like wet or toppings, is to put little sprinkles of water all over it to kind of give it some of that moisture that it would have otherwise had from the sauce. So, all right, we're coming up on our 2.5 minutes here. The other fun thing about this recipe is like it really doesn't tell you like how long to cook the pizza. You kind of just like cook it till it's done. I think that should be pretty obvious, like a nice like sort of golden brown crust, nice melty gooey cheese. I'm a little bit concerned that the broiler is going to be really hot, so we will see. Hey Google, stop. All right, so we're gonna give this, ooh, it's looking pretty good. We're gonna give this a little spinarooski here. It does look a little bit more brown on the back side, and there's definitely a little bit more semolina in there than I wanted, but that's life. Hey Google, start a timer for 2.5 minutes. And then we're switching to broil. The other thing I'm concerned about is it takes it takes a little while for the broiler to heat up, and so I don't know how effective it's going to be in a 2.5 minute window. I probably should have like preheated the broiler while like right before putting the pizza in the oven and like switched back to oven and then back to broil. I don't know. Oh, we have an escapee. It'd be really exciting if she came in and knocked over some cameras or something. It'd be really fun. Good. Good, good, good. All right. So, we're getting there. Let's take a look. Ah, looking good. Probably got a couple more minutes left here. I probably could have gone a little bit thinner on the crust edge because it's looking very large. And actually, I probably could have gone a little bit larger on the pizza itself too. Hopefully the actual like under crust is nice and thin. It felt thin when I was doing it. It might have kind of like tightened up a little bit. But yeah, I I hope I sent off a lot of good timers. You know, we're all in the same boat. We're in 2.5 minutes. Just flies by. Cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing more of these. I I gotta obviously work a little bit on some of the camera stuff, and I used to have a little, I forget what it's called. It's like a little button thing that I attached to my computer that I could like easily switch the camera angles and stuff. But that felt a little bit more than I wanted to deal with today. So, you know, working on it. We've got better lighting now, better sound. Hopefully that is working. The continuity camera, I'm using the iPhone as like the main camera here. And the continuity camera, I think, has been working mostly okay. I'd like to, at some point, try streaming in 4K. I assume that gigabit internet is good enough for that. But, you know, it's going to be a continued experiment. So that doesn't quite look done to me. I'm going to give it a little bit of a rotation here. Like I'd like to see the cheese looks pretty good, but I'd like to see the edges look a little bit. Hey Google, stop. So yeah, and then of course, my pizza peel is going to show up at some point today, and that will make it a little bit less comically awkward to get the pizza into the oven. But yeah, so all that's left really to do, like I was thinking I would make pie, and I guess there's probably time. The problem is I don't have any ingredients. So happy Pie Day. We're making pizza pie, and that's it. That's all you get. Sorry. Yeah. While we sit here and wait for this pizza to be done, anybody have any questions? Anybody have requests for future recipes, future fun, exciting things? If not, I'm happy to talk about the event I went to last night, which was at a place called Root up here in Salem, Mass, where it's basically like a teaching kitchen for groups of kids between, I think it's 16 and 26. And they basically teach them how to work in a professional kitchen. You know, they get their ServSafe certification. They have cool externships with like various local restaurants. This is looking pretty nice. I do wish it was a little bit bigger. I'd say that's like another minute or two still. I wanted it to be a little bit browner. But how long did it take to make the dough though? Before today, I feel like yes. So yes. I mean, you saw the vast majority of the dough making, right? So now it sits under here for like 45 minutes ish. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna portion it. So this was 2 doughs. So we're gonna cut it basically as evenly in half as we can, which actually there's an amazing German game show where that's the whole shtick. You literally just cut objects in half as evenly as you can. It's amazing, check it out. But once that's done, you end up like, you kind of work it a little bit, like folding it sort of under itself over and over, which we will do. We've still got 20 minutes, so I might cheat and like just cut it short. It is really warm in here because we've had the oven on all day. So maybe that'll be fine, but you kind of just keep folding it under itself until it makes a nice ball, like a nice smooth ball. You pinch the bottom close, and then we put it down and like shape it a bit more into a ball. Because again, the whole idea is like, if you start with a perfect circle, it's really easy to keep it as a perfect circle. You don't have to like shape it anymore. And then you pop it into an oiled proofing container, and that's it. That's what you saw it come out this morning as. So proof the dough, yes. It took 3 days. Well, technically I did it for 2. You're supposed to do it for 3. I am comically bad at math, apparently, when it matters. So I should have done it on Tuesday. I instead did it on Wednesday. Here we are. It's gonna be great. All right, so this is now quite a lot longer than I expected it to be going. And it's looking around the color that I want now. So we're gonna go ahead and take this out of here, put it on here, get this out of here, back to here. I'm gonna go back to bake because I am gonna make another pizza after this. and we'll take a look at this. This looks pretty darn good, guys. I'm pretty happy with this, although I'm going to clean this up a little bit so I don't make a massive mess here. All right. Then we will put this, hopefully this is not too nauseating. We'll put this back here. And then, pizza. Then the hardest part is waiting 3 minutes to cut it. But, oh, I forgot to salt the cheese. You know, talk about doing something. It's probably not too late. We'll just give the pizza a little salt. I'm sure it'll be appreciative of that. It does say to use less than you think, but that seems about right. Bethy, you want some pizza? I'm hungry. Has it been 3 minutes yet? Cool. And then I guess the only other thing besides like what meals to make is like when to do these. I thought Friday at 1 might be a fun time. It's like I have a lot of people on the West Coast who, you know, if I did them at 11 or noon, might be a little challenging, but 1 seems like a little bit more doable. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. I think Friday afternoons are a pretty fun time. People hopefully don't have too many meetings and stuff, and this is a good excuse to have a thing to put on your calendar and, you know, not miss it, right? Also, I'd love to get people over here, like sitting here, and you know, to have people to talk to, and you know, not just be monologuing by myself for an hour. Although Beth has been passing me really excellent notes from her office this whole time, which have been really good.
Butt shots.
Everybody loves the butt shots, apparently. That's the most popular part of the stream. Cool. Has it been 3 minutes? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Like, definitely 3 minutes. A lot. It's apparently the most important step. It looks pretty good. Yeah, let's see if we can do like a little, like what does the underside look like? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, you can't see that. I don't know how to do it on this one. I'm going to like drop this whole pizza. It's going to be great. Yeah, that's what the bottom looks like. It's like nice and a little bit leopard spotted. Okay, I'm cutting it. You can't stop me. So one of the things I found really interesting is it said, well, first of all, I don't have a pizza pan, which is like a metal pan thing that you put the pizza on to cut it. I'm just going to cut it on a cutting board. Definitely don't cut it on a wooden pizza peel because it'll get all gross and you have to wash it, and that's a nightmare. It did say, though, that you should cut from the inside out, which I've never in my life done, and I'm certain that I would cut the weirdest looking slices if I did that, so I'm not going to. I might just cut really weird slices anyways, just because presentation is not... This looks so good! Not always been my forte. Oh my gosh, this looks great. All right, well, here's the moment of truth. That looks... So it could be a little bit thinner, but it looks nice. That's pizza. Yum. That's great. So I think I would like to try it with different cheeses, because that cheese is definitely tasty, but like I think it could be tastier. The crust could definitely be a little bit thinner. I could absolutely have stretched that a little bit more. So that's another thing for sure to work on. The sauce is nice. I mean, obviously could be a little bit improved, but yeah, I'm very happy with that. Like, it's not quite... I was just in New York last weekend. It's not quite as good, obviously, as a slice from a New York pie shop, but... So that's the thing, Caitlin. Tickets are going to be free. You just got to show up. So, come on down, man. Let's do this thing. And if you're coming here, I mean, you can make requests. So, just saying. And like... I guess there's nothing stopping us from doing like a dinner episode of this, if that's better or easier or more fun. So yeah, yum. Mm. Oh, I'm so hungry. This is great. I might have overcooked it. Maybe not. I don't know. All we can do is try again. But it definitely needs to be more stretched. Like, I don't think that's quite a 16-inch pie. Let's see. Oh, not even close. Okay, so yeah, that's part of why this is so funny looking. So 16 inches is here. Okay, so that's the problem. Not even close to big enough. All right. Well, nothing. We got 15 minutes still. There's nothing stopping us from trying again. All right. So this goes back here. This goes back here. Get this out of here. Oh, that one kind of landed a little funny, but that's okay. All right, so much bigger pizza, much smaller crust, much bigger pizza. Here we go. Let's try this again. I'm glad this didn't become another one of my like arch nemesis dishes. Like pad thai, I have never successfully made pad thai like in a way that I was happy with. And eventually one day I will. But not yet. I always end up like over soaking the noodles. And even though I know that I always do that, I still just do it anyways because for whatever reason I'm like petrified of having undercooked noodles. But one day it will happen. Hash browns are another nemesis, although I have now pretty much perfected those on like a Blackstone griddle. And the secret there is you have to use dehydrated potatoes, like the kind that come in like the little milk cartons, and then lots of Crisco. And if you do those two things, oh, Maisie, why are you sad? You want to go outside? If you do those two things, you will have. Oh gosh, I definitely could have done a little bit better job there. I'm being a little bit careless now, but it's all gonna be good. But then you will have like what I consider to be. Oh man, I just mashed the crust. For shame. For shame. All right. So now the center is quite stretched, and there's just a thicker portion around the outside. We need our official pizza peel situation with some more semolina. All right, then Ted Lasso is coming back. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better day. Like, just incredible. That's amazing news. Thank you for the breaking news story. All right. Okay. Now we're oh God. Oh Jesus. Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. This is tricky. This is a thin dough. I think I'm doing this part mostly right, but maybe I'm not. Maybe this is where I was foiled. It's so thin. You can like see through this. Okay. It's definitely not round. It's far from round, but it's much larger. How big is that? Where'd my tape measure go? That's like more like pizza sized. Oh, 18 inches. We went too big. We went too big. All right, well, that's fine. Everything's fine. Give it a little shimmy, make sure it moves. That's a pizza. That's a pizza for sure. All right, now we're gonna make sure we're not too crazy with the sauce. And you guys sort of can see this, but not really. That's fine. I'm more concerned with making this good than presenting it perfectly. Staying away from the middle. Going easy with it. Hopefully I have enough cheese because it's going to be really exciting to try to shred more cheese while the pizza is on here and it's fixing itself to the pizza peel in air quotes, scare quotes, whatever. All right, that looks great. I'm not going to forget to salt the cheese this time. I'm not going to do it. And if I do that, it's still going to be fine. All right. That's probably also why it took so much longer to cook, because it was like way too small. Uh-oh. Guys, we might not have enough cheese. Ah! All right, all right, all right, all right. We just have barely enough. Everything's going to be fine. And it would be nice to make a pepperoni pizza, and I have pepperonis, but I don't have a deli slicer, and I really don't feel like slicing them by hand, so I'm not going to do it, and you can't make me. Salt. Salt the cheese. I guess you also want to make sure you don't over salt your sauce, because you're salting your sauce here as well. All right. I'm not going to try to change the camera. We're just going straight in. Oh no, it doesn't fit. Ah! All right, well, YOLO Brolo. So the part of the edge of the pizza is hanging off the edge of the pizza stone, which is why you want to make it 16 inches and not 18 inches. Hey Google, start a timer for 2 minutes, but just for me and not for anybody else.
Sure, 2 minutes. And we're starting now.
Hopefully that worked. Probably didn't. Send Jason this pizza. I should do that. All right, pizza take 2. In the oven. It's going to be much larger. It's going to be much better. We're already learning. We're growing. We're doing it. We're doing it. Maisie, get over here. Get over here. No? You just want to go outside? Okay. You can go outside. And while we're waiting for that pizza, I'm going to eat this pizza. I'm excited for this next one. I think it's going to be great. All right, so still got 8 minutes on the dough. Once this one comes out, we'll take care of that one. We're coming up on the hour mark. This has been really fun. I'm excited to do a lot more of these. That's all I got. I don't know what else to say. Yep. Pizza. Pizza party. And if we had guests here, there would be less awkward not knowing what to say parts, like right now. I could be chit-chatting, showing off random stuff. You know, I could make an espresso. That might be fun. But the problem is, it's far away. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I need to turn the pizza here in a second. Ba-ba-ba-da-da. All right, so this pizza needs to, hey Google, stop. Ah! It needs to be elsewhere. We're gonna turn it. And we're gonna try to get it, nudge it back onto the. All right, we got it back on there. It's now fully. All right, and we're on broil. Feeling good. All right, we can clean this up again because I don't need this anymore. Cool. Using a lot of paper towels because YOLO. Let's take a look at our dough. How's it doing in there? Oh, look at that happy dough. It's a little, looks good. So then we will find our scale, which is over here. We'll wiggle it off the cutting board, move it. I like to put a little plastic wrap so that I'm not putting the dough directly on the scale. And we'll see how good I am at cutting things in half. All right, so YOLO. And we're going for 400 grams. Let's see. Wow, way off. 436. All right. 407 still. All right. All right. 494. One of these days. 398. Get in there. Oh, I think the pizza peel just got here, guys. We're saved. It's perfect timing. 400 grams. Oh, 401. All right, let's take that off. And then hopefully, if we did this all right, this other ball is going to be 400 as well. 397. Close enough, you know? I'm not a perfectionist. There's still some stuff stuck in there. I should have gotten it out. Yeah. How are we looking, pizza? Oh, that's looking much better. Okay. Happy days. All right, so for this one, we're basically just going to just keep kind of folding it under itself. Like I'm just kind of like stretching the top down to the bottom, which is like making these like creases down here. And eventually we just decide that it looks good enough and we just want to make sure that this is all pinched together. And then we're going to just put it down and we're going to make it as roughly spherical as we can. Again, this kind of pays a lot of dividends, right? Because like this is where you're actually making it look good. So then we'll take our pans, we'll put a little bit of oil in them. Take a paper towel. Just made of paper towels today. It's great. Then essentially like wipe out and get oil kind of all in there, which is just going to leave a nice little film of oil. You don't want too much, right? Like you're not trying to add more oil to it, but you just want to make sure it's not going to get stuck on there forever. And check our pizza. Looking nice. And then we'll take our dough ball and give it a couple more happy little swirls and plop it right in there. Put the lid on, and then we'll do the same with the other one. And then again, this goes in the fridge for 3 days, not 2 days, 3 days. And then a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, maybe 3, before you're gonna make your pizza. Go ahead and take it out of the fridge and either put it on a cutting board or if you have another container, like oil that container and switch it, just so that it does not stick. Because if you leave it on the counter in the container that it proofed in the fridge, it will get pretty stuck in there, I assume. I have no idea. That's what I hear. It's the word on the street. Oh, shrimp scampi. I love shrimp scampi. All right. Goes in there. Center it a little bit better. Get a lid on it. We'll put those in the fridge. We'll check on the pizza again. Fridge is full. Fridge is full. Well, these are gonna go over here for now. Pizza's almost there. We're gonna give it a little rotation. Okay. All right. Guys, this is fun. I would not have had time to make a whole pie in addition to this, because we're about to be done here. Let's see. Pasta party. I would do a pasta party. That sounds fun. How long did it take me to decide on my coffee setup? Like 8 years. I started researching espresso machines for, I think it was originally for Beth's birthday, which is hilarious, in like 2018, and decided on one. I think it was a Profitec, and at the time it just felt really ridiculous, so I didn't end up moving forward. And then this last year, again for Beth's birthday, bought me a birthday present of an espresso machine, and it's amazing. It's a ECM Synchronica, the original one, not the one that just came out, and it's phenomenal. And like honestly, the machine itself matters less. It's all about the grinder, in terms of like making really good, consistent, repeatable, and obviously the beans. But of all the equipment that you're going to have, the grinder is the thing that you really want to invest in. But well, I can't remember the name of the grinder that I have, of course. I do too many things at once. Let's go ahead and pull this. Yeah. The much bigger pizza pie. Here we go. Now we're talking. Look at that. What are we thinking here? Oh, it's not even 16. Guys, this is tough. So it needed to be even bigger. How would that even fit on that stone? Well, this looks much better, much bigger, much thinner. I'm excited. Now I have to wait 3 minutes again. It's incredibly rude. So like the crust looks nicer. It's like much thinner. Let's see if we can pick this up. Can you guys see that? I'm trying not to drip grease all over myself. It's actually been surprisingly not greasy. For apparently the whole milk mozzarella can tend to pool a little bit of grease. And you can kind of see here in the middle, there's some of that, but it looks great. Looks great to me. Oh, I didn't even see that was used to you. Yeah, shrimp scampi. We can do a shrimp scampi. That sounds delicious. And hey, if you guys want to be here for it, get over here. All right, cool. Well, we are now 2 minutes over the dedicated 1 hour slot that I was planning on, but I do want to take a piece of this, or a bite of this pizza. So I'm going to wait. We're going to go 2 more minutes and I'm going to eat it. And then we're going to be done here. And that's it. Has it been 2 minutes? All right, well, I guess in the meantime, I can put stuff away. You guys can watch me clean up. That's always fun and entertaining. I also, Beth was mentioning, like, I definitely used to have like music during these, which I really enjoyed. The problem is YouTube really doesn't like when you do that, especially when it's like copyrighted music, and you haven't, gotten permission to broadcast it. So I think I will probably try to add some approved copyright, like music. It's not going to be songs that but at least it will be somewhat better than absolute silence in between when I'm saying stuff. So yeah, that's on the agenda. Also, improving the camera stuff a little bit is on the agenda. I know this camera, it's a little bit awkward, but we'll figure it out. It's going to be great. Oh, Hasselback potatoes. That's another good idea. That's a fan favorite for sure around the holidays. It's like a baked potato casserole, basically, where you slice the potatoes super thin. You peel them, slice them, put them in like a cream, heavy cream garlic and like herbed like sauce essentially, and then like painstakingly essentially recreate the potatoes slice by slice. So you're stacking them all up vertically, and then roast it in the oven for far too long. It's like 2.5 or 3 hours until they get like really crusty, crunchy on the top because you put like Parmesan cheese and stuff, and then like the bottom half of the potatoes are all just like oozy goozy, like creamy, delicious. That's fabulous. So yes, excellent ideas. Um, cool. Oh, don't need the oven on anymore. I'm cutting this pizza. It's time. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's so much thinner. That is most excellent. All right. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at, oh yeah. I don't think you can see how thin this is, but it's thin. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Maybe a little less salt, but damn. Yeah. And then even bigger. 16 inches. That's up to here. It's a 14-inch pie. That's crazy. Crazy talk. And I would like some pepperonis. I love a good pepperoni pie. In fact, I'm gonna add a little chili flake now that I've tried it unadorned. If I haven't already pitched you guys on these are the flat iron chili flakes. I think they sponsored a really shitty pizza festival that they shouldn't have, but they're so damn good. It's hard to. I have so many of them. I don't want to just throw them away. Anyway, they're delicious. That made it even better. This pizza is great. Highly recommend it. Check out the recipe / article. If you have questions about it, let me know. I'm happy to help troubleshoot. But yeah, that is going to do it for today. Thank you guys for all joining. I had a real fun time. And I'm looking forward to doing more of these, both here and elsewhere. Like, if folks want to, I can take this stuff anywhere. So if folks want to do these at their house, or maybe I'll try to get some of these set up at the Root Kitchen, or maybe find some restaurant or catering space to do this out of. But I think it could be a real good fun time. With that, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for joining me. Hope everybody has a fantastic Friday and weekend. Re-inaugural Cooking with Baber out. Vermont. Maybe. Could be fun. I'll see you guys.